Councilwoman Jakewith,
Here.
Councilwoman McGraw, Councilwoman McGraw, she's here.
She's here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Councilman McPartlin,
Here.
Supervisor Syed.
Here. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're now going to move on to approval of the minutes. We have the minutes of the February 23rd, 2021 regular town board meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Are there any changes, additions, subtractions to those minutes? Okay, saying none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? And those minutes are approved. We're now going to move on to privilege of the floor. I did have one submitted letter for privilege of the floor, so I'm going to read that letter at this time. It was submitted by Gail King, and Gail writes, Gail King, Niskuna resident, Niskuna business owner, Niskuna property owner. Niskuna's neighborhoods have always been pedestrian friendly, where children walk to school and safely rode their bikes around the neighborhoods. Walkers and bikers always have had the right of way. What is happening behind closed doors without full closure? Zoning has been changed in favor of bars and full-service restaurants and family neighborhoods. Crescent Road, 1 block long, was a lane going east to the farm. Now with a stroke of a pen and the strike of a key on a laptop, it has become a boulevard. Now we hear that we need pedestrian-friendly walkable roads. What does that mean? Sidewalks for all the town streets, parking for all of the stores. Is this going to be paid for by town residents? Is there going to be extra parking on town streets just for the bar restaurant paid for by the town? The same bar/restaurant that our planners have made a special rule for. This very small bar/restaurant will be allowed no more than 50 people at one time on the premises. Does that make crowding legal? The rule includes 7 shared parking spaces. The board is recommending that Mr. Nicky keep his customers in these 7 spaces. The parking spaces in this plaza are maintained by building owners for their tenants, not for the bar/restaurant at all hours. If our town is taking this parking over, let us know. We also hear plans are emerging for 500 feet of Knott Street to be reduced parking and limit access to historic shopping buildings. I'm hearing the 15 parking spaces on the south that are being replaced by a 4-lane highway are they not really there? Sorry, it's 80 plus feet by 500 of blacktop divided into 2 lanes, 1 parking lane and 1 access lane, 1 way in and 1 way out. Still, we hear parking will be the same, and planners say this with a straight face. An alternate plan should be investigated, moving the through traffic south, trade the land on the south for the land on the north in front of the business buildings. They need enough parking to survive. These historic buildings deserve respect. Seems like all of these or most of these improvements could be done for the $1.5 million allotted, the 500 feet of improvements now planned by Schenectady County and Niskuna. Knott Street, Clifton Park, and Crescent Road. Will one continuous plan for this original town center be made? Will business owners and property owners be heard before or after plans are final? And that concludes that letter submitted by resident Gail King. I don't have any submitted letters via email. I will open up the floor if there's anyone who has joined us on the live stream tonight or via our inside link. If you would like to speak during privilege of the floor, you can do so now. And last call, if you would like to speak during privilege of the floor, you can do so now. Okay. Hearing no one left willing to speak, I'm going to close privilege of the floor. We're going to move on to our committee reports. We're going to begin with Councilwoman Jakewith.
Thank you, Supervisor. Under community program updates, the Easter Bunny drive-through will be held on Friday, April 2nd from 10 to 11 a.m. The Easter Bunny will be outside to wave and hand out goodies for the kids in their cars. This event is going to be a weather permitting event, and an email blast will go out on Thursday if the event has to be canceled. The staff is furiously working on summer program books, which contain information on programs, concerts, the town pool, and parks. The book will be available on the website, and registration will open on April 1st. The driving range is slated to open for the season on Saturday, April 24th, weather permitting. The range will be open daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and has a fully automated ball dispenser on the site, which accepts credit cards, debit cards, and Apple Pay. There's no cash accepted at that site. As far as senior programs, the Senior Center has reopened. Our focus has primarily been on transitioning lunch and exercise programs while welcoming back senior guests. CDPHP lunches that expire the last Monday of this month, which is the 29th, and the drive-through pickup option for Gershon's on Tuesdays and Thursdays will transition to an eat-in or take-out option. Seniors are getting back to visiting and playing cards. Exercise programs continue via Zoom, and at the same time, our staff is working to transition to a hybrid solution for those who prefer to be on site, and they're very, very happy to have everyone back. Farmers Market Committee continues to meet regularly. We're gearing up for the 2021 Farmers Market season, which will run 15 consecutive Saturday mornings, July 10 through October 16. Highway and Parks. Crews have been working off of resident request lists. Soon the crews will be out doing lawn repair for winter snow plowing, weather permitting. I think that's already begun. Tree crews have been trimming and doing tree removal, basin repairs, and patching. Crews have also been inspecting and cleaning backyard drainage and open culverts around town. The yard waste schedule is out. Random yard waste pickup starts the week of April 5th. And scheduled pickup will begin the week of May 10th, and that's posted in the newspaper, the schedule. Parks crews have been cleaning brush along the bike path for future ditch work to be completed this spring. Crews are also beginning their cleaning and preparing of parks for upcoming summer season for our residents and for all of our youth organizations. Crews are also working on completing the remaining Schenectady County grant projects, including most recently the softball netting at River Road Park. Lastly, I want to mention that tonight we will be bidding farewell to 3 long-serving employees, Mike Trentini, Pete Countryman, and Bob Senecal. Between them, they have served Niskuna for a total of 100 years. It would be difficult to find a place in our community that has not benefited from their dedicated service. We wish them all a long, happy, and healthy retirement, and we will be recognizing them with ceremonial resolutions tonight. And lastly, the next Highway, Parks, and Recreation Committee meeting will be held Wednesday, April 7th at 8:15. Thank you, Madam Supervisor.
Thank you very much. We're now going to move on to Councilman Delarada.
Yes, thank you, and good evening. We had our Economic Development and Conservation Committee meeting on March 5th, and we will have our next one on April 2nd, and I believe those are still going to be virtual. So that would be April 2nd at 8:30 a.m. Of course, the big thing in this unit is still the Rivers Ledge project, and that is progressing nicely. If you drive by, you will see some foundations and the beginning of framed up buildings. So fortunately and hopefully that will continue on schedule. Also, we have filled up some advisory board positions, but we still have 2 left for our advisory committee. We have a couple left for our Climate Smart Community Task Force, and I believe 2 remaining for our Architectural Review Board. So hopefully we will get those filled up in the very near future. Also, we have Arbor Day coming up on April 24th. I'm looking forward to that. It will probably be similar to last year. So we'll be working the turnaround at the town hall, but hopefully we'll be a little bit more spread out and we can handle the cars and the traffic and get people moving on a little bit quicker than last year. All that being said, we do hope you tune in on April 2nd at 8:30. We are looking for your input. Thank you.
Thank you. We're now going to move on to Councilwoman McGraw.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. The Water and Sewer Department has been very busy this time of year as folks see them out and about, gearing up for the warmer weather and all the things that take place during that time of year. We've had a promotion at the Water and Sewer Department. Dan Plowinski, has been promoted to Water and Sewer Maintenance Worker. We are also spending some time working on securing some new private hydrant maintenance agreements, making sure that those are functioning at the level that they can and should throughout the town. The water treatment plant, we have a promotion there as well. Folks are working very hard, and these are people who have worked for us for a while and are eager to stay at the town and really contribute. Josh Walters is a name that most of us know quite well. He's a dedicated employee of our town. He's been promoted to Chief Water Plants Operator, and I could not be more thrilled. Mike Borowski has also been promoted to Water Plants Operator. And we are in the process of receiving bids for our Niskuna well redevelopment program. As many of you know, we secure water in this town from two sources. One, from the big water tank that many of you see on Balltown. That is Schenectady City Water. We have an agreement with them. But then we also work to develop our own wells down by the river. And that's water that comes right from Niskuna. So it is in our best interest to ensure that those wells are operating at the utmost capacity and moving along. So we continuously, especially this time of year, redevelop the wells, ensure they're working at their best capacity. So that's taking place right now. We're continuing to clean up the transfer station and the landfill. There's some cleanup and other things that we're doing with getting rid of a gasoline tank. And these are all things that might not sound like big deals, but to us they really are, because they continue to allow the quality of life in our community. And certainly cleaning up over there by the landfill, getting rid of the old garage over there. If you've driven by lately, it's nice and flat. It will be a beautiful field soon. So we're thrilled that we're continuing to upgrade over by Blatnick Park. We've completed just recently the municipal good housekeeping training for maintenance staff, both highway and water and sewer departments. It's aimed at best management practices to prevent stormwater contamination. So we're proceeding with that. Our next meeting of the Water and Sewer Committee, the Public Works Committee, is April 1st at 8:30. It will be virtually. I just wanted to a shout out to our fearless leader, Matt Ghetto. He had some surgery yesterday. He'll be out for a couple of weeks. We're thinking of him. And Councilwoman Jakewith mentioned everything that's going on at the parks. We are in the process of getting the pool up and running. I have to thank the County of Schenectady. They will be ensuring that most of our staff there will be vaccinated this summer. We're moving forward with that, with a combination of the older staff members getting vaccinated on site at the Schenectady County site and the 16 and 17-year-olds putting together either the state or with neighboring counties to ensure that they can get the vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine, because that's approved for 16 and 17-year-olds. I also, and we'll be doing a little bit of an upgrade at the pool this year. One of our Eagle Scouts will be doing a project, putting up a new bulletin board and planting some flowers. So things that he's an Eagle Scout who his brother worked at the pool. He had a significant project to try to upgrade the pool. And now he works at the pool, and he has chosen for his Eagle Scout project to be an upgrade of the pool. And it's just really nice to see. Finally, speaking of vaccines, I think many of us have seen on the news and read in the paper that there's these angel networks of people throughout the region, throughout the country, who have chosen to spend their spare time trying to get as many of their fellow neighbors and friends and family vaccinated as possible. We have one of those angels in Niskayuna, a woman named Ann Berger. She lives on Niska Isle. As of about 20 minutes ago, when I was on the phone with her, I believe she has gotten more than 75 people vaccinated. She just does it on her computer. She's just doing it because she really believes so strongly in helping people. She will often, we sort of team up. I will get the latest from the state and the changing ages and who's eligible. And she goes to work immediately, getting as many people vaccinated as possible. So she's just a good Samaritan. She is truly an angel. And I just wanted to recognize her tonight and thank her again, Ann Berger from Niska Isle. That's all I have, Madam Supervisor. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. We're now going to move on to Councilman McPartlin.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. The Police and Public Safety Committee met on March 2nd. Operationally, we discussed that everyone in the department that wanted to obtain the vaccine has been vaccinated, and as of our meeting date, there was no one out on quarantine, so that was good. The chief reported that the recommendations for the police reform and reinvention collaborative have been coming in. As you all know, we had a public hearing on that. We are not certain that that's completely ready. This is a very extensive document that the board needs time to review, but we are very hopeful that we will meet the April 1st deadline that the state has put forward. We also have a promotion. As with lots of promotions, usually those promotions in town are facilitated by retirements. We had an officer, Paul Hobson, who retired after 35 years of service in the police department. And we want to thank him for his many, many years of service to our town. And filling his position is Officer Paul Daly, who has been promoted to the Detective Division. Later tonight, you'll see a resolution for 2 new police cars. As you know, we continue to try to keep our fleet upgraded on a yearly basis to cut down our maintenance costs and make it as economical as possible to run our fleet. Building wise, if you've been at Town Hall, now the Town Hall is open, you may have seen the TBS contractor there working on the locking system and security system at Town Hall. So that is progressing well. Training wise, on March 1st, the police department entered an agreement with Northern Rivers Mobile Crisis Service. They're going to be providing EDP awareness training for our officers, and also hopefully in conjunction with the county and other agencies with the dispatch center, be able to respond to mental health calls if such need arises for our department. Citizen issues, we always talk about those at our Police and Public Safety Committee meetings. At the March meeting, we discussed Wyoming Ave, Lexington Parkway. We've done studies on these streets, and usually we look at volume and or speeding and violations and increase our enforcement in those areas. Fieldstone Drive is another area that we've done some studies on that we are increasing our enforcement on. Chief also reported that Paul Briggs, and the deputy chief met, and they're working on the towing contract for the town and the possibility of getting that out and to bid to other vendors that have been interested in getting into our town to do some towing for the police department. Community events, the department worked with Niskayuna Fire District 1 and Niskay Now with their St. Patrick's Day event and St. Patrick's Day dinner. Town clerk reported about the APF contract, and we're still working on that, working with Paul, and our legal department is getting in touch with the city to discuss how they're working their contract with the APF regarding dogs. If a dog or an animal bites someone, that dog has to be quarantined, and there's lots of regulations and things that have to be looked at in that regard. Court issues, the judge reports that they're trying to resolve some of their caseload virtually, but they're anxious, I think, to get reopened. Now the town hall is reopened. We'll see how that works with the court getting reopened so that they can get through some of their backlog. And the fire chief reported, and we've heard from the Niskaday committee that it appears possibly they're looking at doing something in August. It's going to be a different type of event, but that's a tentative report that we've gotten from the Niskaday committee. Also, as you know, our executive secretary in the police department has retired. The chief thought she had a solution for a replacement for that, but that doesn't seem to be coming to fruition. So she is still in the process of looking to fill that position for the police department. And our next meeting is going to be April 6th at 8 a.m. Thank you.
Great, thank you. We're now going to move on to the supervisor's report. We'll begin with giving a very brief COVID update. Town Hall, as many people know, has been open to the public by appointment only as of now for over a week. All is progressing well so far. It's my hope that beginning the second or third week of April, that at such time as when our employees and sufficient number of the general public will be fully vaccinated, that we will be able to open up Town Hall to the general public without requiring an appointment. But all of those statistics will be evaluated and a decision should be forthcoming soon. But until such point, we will continue operating by appointment only. We do appreciate the cooperation of our employees and the public as well towards that effort. I am pleased to share the good news that as a result of the American Rescue Plan, the town of Niskuna will receive a projected allocation of over $2.4 million. Our local government funds will be distributed in two equal distributions. The first will be by May 10th of this year, and the second by March 11th of next year. The use of these funds is restricted to certain criteria, namely to respond to COVID-19 financial impacts and to invest in water and sewer infrastructure. The town board, together with our town comptroller, will be endeavoring in the coming months to produce a plan for the allocation of this funding. So for all of those individuals who were part of this process, I know Councilwoman McGraw, our town comptroller as well, we thank all of you as well as President Biden for spearheading this initiative, and all of our representatives on the national level for making sure that this very much needed funding came to our town and many towns throughout the United States. Lastly, that we have on the agenda tonight a resolution to approve the police reform and reinvention plan. We will instead be convening a workshop to be held this Friday morning. We will be further discussing the plan. We will be allowing for additional examination of the plan. And once that workshop is held, we can then schedule a town board special meeting to pass the plan. And like Councilman McPartland said, we have every intention of passing and submitting this plan prior to the April 1st deadline. So adding on to that particular point, we will have a resolution later on in the packet for passage of the plan. We will not take up that resolution from the floor at this time. We will instead, like I said, choose to convene this workshop, ask more questions, flesh out the plan a little bit more, and then at such time as we can schedule a town board special meeting, that's when that passage of the plan will hopefully occur. So that concludes my supervisor's report. I'm now going to bring up the ceremonial resolutions. So those are at the end of the packet. However, we will vote on those now. So we're going to begin with resolution 2021-86, but prior to the reading of that resolution, if Councilwoman Jakewith would like to say a few words regarding these very special employees of ours who are now entering retirement, you can do so now.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. Before I get started there, I wanted to ask about the workshop on Friday. Will that also be open to collaborative members and or the public?
Yes, it will. It should now be posted online to our web meeting calendar with instructions to live stream and log into that meeting. A announcement to the collaborative members will be sent out following this meeting this evening.
Okay, thank you, Madam Supervisor. Okay, I wanted to speak to the 3 employees that we're recognizing tonight. So again, we're recognizing and honoring 3 retiring employees who have collectively given 100 years of dedicated service to the residents of the town of Niskuna. Mike Trentini started working for us in 1979, and after 41 years of service, is retiring as a working crew leader. Mike has probably done every job that has ever been necessary for the betterment of our town and was very involved in the creation and continued maintenance of our beautiful Veterans Memorial, which is right outside Town Hall. Pete Countryman has been with us since 1989. In addition to keeping all of our vehicles and machinery operating, extending the life of countless expensive pieces of machinery, Pete will be remembered for his willingness over the last 31 years to step into any role, always making sure if there was a need for a snowplow operator or on any given day or anything else, he was ready to step up and did so. Bob Senecal started his service with the town in 1992 and has been an integral part of the town's highway department over these past 28 years, filling various roles, working with countless employees, training them, and sharing his vast institutional knowledge of town operations. So I just wanted to take the opportunity before we go through the reading of the ceremonial resolutions to just say, we are forever indebted to these 3 gentlemen who have immeasurably made contributions to our town, its residents, and we wish them all a well-deserved and wonderful retirement. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Pete. And thank you, Bob. And thank you, Madam Supervisor, for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to the ceremonial resolutions. We're going to begin with Resolution 2021-86, sponsored by Councilwoman Jakewith. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to thank Michael Trentini for his years of service to the town.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Well, I will say Mike has been such a valuable member of our workforce for so many years, for decades, really. He's had a very full career here. He is so well liked. And I really will miss those times that he came to visit Town Hall just to say hello. He took his personal time out of his day just to do that. And I do want to recognize him for all the work that he put into our Veterans Memorial right outside of Town Hall, literally laying the bricks out there. And it is so beautiful and such a wonderful memorial that not just our employees can enjoy every single day as we walk into Town Hall, but also all of our residents. And every year that we celebrate Veterans Day, we all convene out there for a number of other special events. We convene out there as well. So Mike, thank you so much for your contributions. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith.
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw.
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes.
5 ayes.
And this resolution passes. Next ceremonial resolution, 2021-87, sponsored by Councilwoman Jakewith. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to thank Peter Countryman for his years of service to the town.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? And I'll just say to Peter Countryman, we wish you all the best in your next adventure in retirement. Thank you for your many years of dedicated service to the town of Niskuna. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith.
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw.
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes.
5 ayes.
And this resolution passes. Next ceremonial resolution, 2021-88, sponsored by Councilwoman Jakewith. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to thank Robert Senecal for his years of service to the town.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
I'm just going to take this opportunity to thank all three of these individuals for their dedicated service to the town of Niskayuna, the years, the time that they've spent, and the countless hours and the work that they've put forth. Just want to thank them for their service to our town, and hopefully people that follow in their footsteps will be with us as long as they have. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? We'll tackle those sentiments to Bob Senecal. Thank you so much for your years of service. Thank you for those few times that you came to town hall. You sat and chatted with me. I really appreciated those visits. And you were always a smiling and welcoming face anytime I would come down and visit the highway department. So you will tremendously be missed, as well as your fellow, now soon to be former employees, Peter Countryman and Mike Trentini. So again, thank you, Bob. Thank you to Peter, and thank you to Mike for all of your years of dedicated service to the town. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman McPartlin? Oh, sorry.
Aye.
Councilman Delarada?
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw?
Aye.
Supervisor Syed?
Yes,
5 ayes.
and this resolution passes. We're now going to revert back to our original order. I'm going to move on to Resolution 2021-61, sponsored by Supervisor Syed. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution approving the acceptance of electronic grievances in the town's assessor's office.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada?
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw?
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin?
Aye.
Supervisor Syed?
Yes,
5 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2021-62, sponsored by Councilwoman Jakewith. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution authorizing a grant application to the Niskayuna Community Foundation.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada?
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw?
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin?
Aye.
Supervisor Syed?
Yes,
5 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2021-63, sponsored by Councilwoman McGraw and Councilman Delarada. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution setting fees for vacant home registration pursuant to Chapter 139 of the Town Code of the Town of Niskayuna.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
I do want to thank Councilwoman McGraw for this legislation. We're very hopeful that this will at least give us some reprieve on vacant homes and give us some manner to recoup some of the expenses that these can cause us. So thank you again. And I vote yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw?
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin?
Aye.
Supervisor Syed?
Yes,
5 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2021-64, sponsored by Councilman McPartlin. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution authorizing the purchase of 2 patrol vehicles for use in the police department.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada?
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw?
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin?
Aye.
Supervisor Syed?
Yes,
5 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2021-65, sponsored by Councilman McPartlin. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution authorizing the supervisor to enter into an agreement with Schenectady County for participation in the New York State Special Traffic Options Program for driving while intoxicated.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
Can I just have a little more explanation of this one? I don't know. Bill, can you speak to it?
Yeah, this is something that we do through the county every year. And it also allows the department to get grant funding for DWI patrols and DWI training and things like that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith.
Yes.
Councilman McGraw.
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
5 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next, resolution 2021-66, sponsored by Councilwoman McGraw. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution authorizing the purchase of parts for pump station maintenance and repair.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith.
Yes.
Councilman McGraw.
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
5 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next, resolution 2021-67, sponsored by Councilwoman McGraw. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution calling for a public hearing regarding the sewer extension on Pierce Road.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith.
Yes.
Councilman McGraw.
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
5 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next, resolution 2021-68, sponsored by Councilwoman McGraw. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution appointing an employee to the position of Chief Water Treatment Plant Operator.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith.
Yes.
Councilman McGraw.
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
5 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next, resolution 2021-69, sponsored by Councilwoman McGraw. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution appointing an employee to the position of Plant Operator.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith.
Yes.
Councilman McGraw.
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
5 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next, resolution 2021-70, sponsored by Supervisor Syed. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution approving certain budgetary modifications.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. And for the discussion portion, I will yield a few moments to our Town Comptroller, Ismet Alam. There may or may not need to be an amendment. So I will have Ismet explain what we may need.
Thank you so much, Supervisor. Our mistake, we did not include one of the budget marks in this, in the final budget marks that we had submitted to the town board. And at the last Finance Committee meeting, I had discussed giving a bridge loan or a loan from fund balance for 5 different grants for a total of $386,965. We are hoping that we will get part of the reimbursement back. At this point, we have to pay the bills so we can close 2020. Any questions about that?
So I'm thinking this is going to be an appropriation out of the general fund, a decrease in that amount to,
From the fund balance rate, yes.
and then an increase to
To,
the capital project fund?
four different, actually there are 5 different grants that we can put down the capital projects number. But right now we need to float that $386,000 so we can pay the bills right now because the town has done the work for those grants.
Okay, so I will make a motion to amend pursuant to the town comptroller's recommendation to decrease the fund balance amount by, and correct me if I'm wrong, isn't it $386,965?
Yes, Supervisor.
Okay. And to increase capital project funds that will fund these grant projects.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, great. So that is my amendment. Do I have a second on that amendment?
I'll second that. Ismat, so these are funds you're anticipating coming through on grants in 2021?
To be honest, Councilman, we don't have the information yet, so I cannot say with certainty how much we are going to get back. At this point, I don't know the answer. All I know is that I've been told that we have to pay our vendors who have already performed the work. So we are working with Laura Robertson to find out the information, more about this information to see how much we will be eligible to get reimbursement for. So I honestly, if you ask me, are we going to get 100% of it right now? Knowing what I know, I don't know. But at this point, all I can tell you is that we are legally bound to pay those vendors.
Because these were things we made commitments to in the past.
Yes.
With
Okay.
the anticipation of these grants contributing to the costs, which hopefully still will happen, but I don't believe our comptroller can definitively say when and how much of the reimbursement will occur. Is that safe to say?
Absolutely. At this point, yes.
And Ms. Robertson, do you have
We were
anything to add? Ms. Robertson, do you have anything to add?
I mean, I have never seen a grant agreement that's fully signed not be honored. So I'm not really sure where the confusion is coming from, but working away on them. I had a really good meeting with Frank today. I have, maybe some problems with the way these things are being handled, but I will continue to work as best as I can and just keep plugging away.
Okay, so and as far as a time frame for that reimbursement, it certainly should happen in the year 2021. Is that safe to say?
That's the goal.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, so I made the motion. I had a second on the motion. Do we have any further discussion on that motion? Okay, so on the motion to amend, will the clerk please call the roll? I think you're muted, Michelle.
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith.
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw.
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes.
5 ayes on the amendment.
Okay, the amendment passes. And on the motion as amended, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith.
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw.
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes.
5 ayes.
And this resolution as amended passes. Next resolution, 2021-71, sponsored by Supervisor Syed. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution approving an amendment to Chapter 69 of the Town Code of Niskuna entitled Brush, Grass, and Weeds.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith.
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw.
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
5 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2021-72, sponsored by Supervisor Syed. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to retain professional appraisal services.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith.
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw.
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
5 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2021-73, sponsored by Councilwoman Jakewith. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution awarding a contract with respect to paving of town roads.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith.
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw.
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
5 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2021-74, sponsored by Councilman Delarada, Councilwoman McGraw, and Councilwoman Jakewith. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution regarding complete streets priority letters.
Thank you. I will second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith.
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw.
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
5 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2021-75, sponsored by Councilwoman McGraw. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution appointing an employee to the position of water and sewer maintenance worker.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith.
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw.
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
5 ayes.
and this resolution passes. We are not going to take up from the floor 2021-76. We will instead bring this to the floor at a later date. I'm going to move on to Resolution 2021-77, sponsored by Supervisor Syed. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution approving the town of Niskayuna's emergency management plan for submitting to the state.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith.
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw.
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
5 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2021-78, sponsored by Supervisor Syed. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution approving the town of Niskayuna's pandemic action plan to be added to the employee handbook.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith.
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw.
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
5 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2021-79, sponsored by Supervisor Syed. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution approving an amendment to the fees provided for in Chapter 69 of the Town Code of the Town of Niskayuna.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith,
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw,
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin,
Aye.
Supervisor Syed,
Yes.
5 ayes.
And this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2021-80, sponsored by Councilwoman McGraw. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution accepting grant monies.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith,
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw,
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin,
Aye.
Supervisor Syed,
Yes.
5 ayes.
And this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2021-81, sponsored by Supervisor Syed. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution terminating an appointment.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith,
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw,
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin,
Aye.
Supervisor Syed,
Yes.
5 ayes.
And this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2021-82, sponsored by Councilwoman McGraw. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution authorizing the residential and commercial utility warrant for the second half of 2020.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith,
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw,
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin,
Aye.
Supervisor Syed,
Yes.
5 ayes.
And this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2021-83, sponsored by Councilman Delarada. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution calling for a public hearing on a proposed local law to amend Chapter 75 of the Town Code of the Town of Niskuna to adopt the New York Stretch Energy Code.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith,
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw,
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin,
Aye.
Supervisor Syed,
Yes.
5 ayes.
And this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2021-84, sponsored by Supervisor Syed. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to retain outside counsel.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith,
Yes.
Councilman McGraw,
Aye.
Councilman McPartlin,
Aye.
Supervisor Syed,
Yes.
5 ayes.
And this resolution passes. Last resolution, 2021-85, sponsored by Councilman Delarada and Councilwoman McGraw. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution appointing an individual to the Conservation Advisory Council.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
I just want to thank Nick Bonanno for joining us on the Conservation Advisory Council. He is someone I have known for a few years. He is an editor at the Troy Record and the Saratogian. I've worked with him on a variety of projects, and lo and behold, a few years ago, he moved to Niskuna, and I was thrilled to see it. And one of the first things he said is, I'd like to help and I'd like to get involved. And he's been watching our meetings and he's been paying attention and he's trying to get engaged. He's joined a few other organizations, but he's committed to helping us as best he can in town government. And I couldn't be happier about it. He's going to be a terrific addition to the CAC. And I'm eager to have him get started. So thank you again to Nick, and thank you to everyone for your support, helping him join the team here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion?
Yes, thank you, Nick, and thank you to all of our other volunteers on all of these advisory committees. I've said it once and I'll say it again. It's a great way to get involved in your community, and it's a great way to have really significant input in the decisions that are made. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakewith.
Yes.
Councilwoman McGraw.
Enthusiastically, yes.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
5 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Welcome aboard, Nick. Okay, that is our last resolution for the evening. Before I motion to adjourn, I'm going to motion to enter into executive session pursuant to Public Officers Law, Section 105, subsection F, to discuss the employment history of a particular person or matters leading to the appointment and employment of particular persons. Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Can I, before we go, what time are we meeting on Friday? Because I thought we were meeting at 8, and now I'm seeing it come up on our calendars that we're meeting at 8:30. I thought it was 8, though.
Let me check. I see it as 8:30 as well. And
Okay.
I believe,
It just came as 8:30. I think it first came as 8. So that's why I'm just asking, and I thought it was going to be 8. So,
okay. Well, I will take ownership of that. I'm checking my email right now. I emailed Seth and said 8:30.
okay.
So if we need to switch it to 8, provided that 8 can work for all board members, all of our board members are present, so hopefully that works for everybody. I can switch it. We'll reflect the change on the website as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
No
I just wanted to
problem.
make sure I hope no one had seen
Yep.
one time and now the other time. So
Yep.
it's 8.
No, we will switch that to 8 o'clock. Thank you for,
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Seth.
thanks, Seth.
All right, I'll switch it to 8. You'll get another notification in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are we all done?
We are, I believe we had unanimous agreement to enter into executive session. So we are going to conclude the recording, the live streaming at this point in time. At the conclusion of executive session, we will adjourn the meeting. We will take up no further business from the floor.